I'm upset.
Kinetic.
The maniac. Good evening, good people. It is I, the Maze Madman. I'm upset.
I want you to put the word out there that we back up. Understand me? We back up.
Good evening, good people. It is I, the Maze Madman. Before we go any further, before I introduce these gentlemen to my left or right, depending on how you're watching this, there was a troll in here. Tyler, we saw that comment right as we were introing, and that last clip was for you. But anyway, without any further ado, I got my guys with me.
Kinetic.
The maniac.
All right, let's get to it, fellas. You know why we here today, right? Top 5. How we do it? Wait, what is going on? Top 5 ACC teams, our preseason. These are our picks. Nobody else picked these for us. This is our picks. This is who we decided is the top 5. Go ahead, Maniac.
Real quick, Maze. Isn't Tyler the one that had the arts and craft Ohio State hat? He called in. I think, wasn't that him?
That was him, man. That was him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a weirdo. He's an A1 weirdo.
Yo, shout out to that. 1000% though. Like, bro, don't come here for that. We're not even talking about y'all today. It's an ACC top 5, man. Come with some respect. Show some respect.
He's a clown. 4 in a row, you bum ass. Don't get me started, please.
Right, yeah. Exactly. Let's move on, man. Anyway, top 5 today, fellas. Kinetic said he was disappointed in us last week. He said he took notes. He had little stickies and
Well, hold on.
all of that.
Because the week before we were supposed to do it, but then we had the last minute change up with you getting, I think it was Boateng on, right?
Right.
And so like literally before that show, I went through because I thought we were doing like top to bottom because you sent us a tier list with like contenders, pretenders, like the bottom, like all the way through. So I went through and made notes. I looked at rosters and transfer portals and everything for every team in the Big 12. And then last week I wasn't able to come on the show, but I'm listening to it. I'm like, man, they just did the top 5. I did all that work for nothing.
No doubt. Yeah. DK, hold off for now, but be on standby. All right. DK ready to kick people out of the chat. All right. Anyway, if you are a mod, you know the deal. Make sure you like, share this with your friends and family on social media. Moving forward, though, gentlemen, we got business to attend to. Preseason ACC top 5. We're gonna start. Actually, I'll pull up the tier list here, and then we'll get to it. Let me share this. All right, can everybody see that? It's kind of small, right?
Kinda, yeah.
There we go. That better?
Yeah.
All right. Chat, y'all can participate too. We were in the Maze Madman Discord. A lot of people already saying Clemson. I understand it. I get it. Clemson's returning a lot of talent. We'll get to that though here in a second, I'm sure. Kinetic, we'll start with you. Number 5. Who's the 5th best team in the ACC coming into this season?
So I'm gonna go with the 5th best team. I'm gonna go with the following their playoff run. I'm gonna put SMU here. I don't think I'm as high on them as a lot of people are. I think they're gonna be good, but I think they're gonna drop off more than a lot of people are predicting. And the main reason for that is that I've been hearing mixed information on whether on Kevin Jennings going into this year. Right. And I'm not confident that they're going to repeat their success last year. They've got much stronger or tougher road schedule this year.
Mhm.
And I think some of the other teams in the ACC have taken bigger steps forward. So,
No doubt. So SMU at number 5 for my guy Kinetic Maniac. Who you got at number 5?
So this one is gonna surprise a lot of people, and they underachieved heavily last season.
Okay.
But I think this
I know
year
where you're going.
they out for revenge. Fear the Spear, the Seminoles.
Florida
at number
State.
5.
Number
The
5.
Seminoles. Yes. I think
I don't know
Norvell-
that transfer quarterback they got a big mouth though.
Yeah.
I think he was doing well at Boston College. I think that again, similar to the Big 12, the ACC is not really, a dangerous conference. So I think that Florida State could definitely make some ground this season, and I think they're going to surprise people. So I got the Seminoles at number 5.
Yeah, before we go any further, shout out my brother Johnny Olden Jr. Traveling, he is under the weather. We called him. He told us that he told us he had his Jim Harbaugh onesie with the feet. He had his favorite doll with him.
Charles Woodson's sippy cup.
Right.
So real quick. I know this is a little sidetrack here, but I've been dying to ask you this, Maze. I tried to ask it in the chat last week, but it didn't get read. Speaking of Johnny, you recently came up against Johnny in his first league game in one of our CFP 26 leagues. And when I looked at that score, I was like, damn, like Johnny, did you like that? Like, give us a quick rundown. What happened in that game, man?
First of all, show some respect.
Damn, man. Right? He trying to get hey, Johnny, listen, Johnny clothesline, my man. He got clothesline, but he got back up.
First of all, show some respect. All right. Secondly, so it was worse than that. I think the final score was like 70-49 or something like that. He got out on me like 35-7, bro. It was bad. But then, we reeled him in. At one point, the game was 42-49. I had come all the way back, 42, I think, 42-49. I went for an onside kick, didn't get it. He scored immediately. Then it was a fumble 6, and you get 70-49.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch the game. I just saw the end result. I was disgusting.
Like, damn. By the way, death to all owls. I hate owls now. Shout out to that. All right. So my number 5, I'm actually going with Florida State here too. I think they do bounce back. I don't like their schedule though. If I'm being honest, schedule isn't necessarily favorable for a team.
They got Alabama,
right?
They got Alabama, Florida, and Miami,
and Clemson, right. So it's not going to be necessarily an easy road. They could lose all of those games, but in fact, they probably will be, underdogs in all of those games. But I got my Florida State here at number 5 too. We move on to number 4. Maniac, this time you go first. Who's your 4th best team in the ACC?
So, Kinetic's number 4 team. Number 5 team is my number 4, SMU.
All right.
I think, it's neck and neck. Obviously, they are the defending ACC champions. Also, like Oregon, like Arizona State, they did win their conference in their first season. So, SMU is my number 4 team. An abysmal performance in the playoffs, man. That was atrocious, at Penn State. But I think SMU is going to be all right. I got them number 4.
The real air raid is at FAU. Hey, yo.
For the record, for people that don't know, in that game, Johnny was playing as FAU and Maze was playing as his Arkansas State Red Wolves.
Okay, one thing before we move on, because this is a squirrel moment here. Kinetic, the difference in the G5 teams this year is glaring. Like, trying to play like one of those Power 5 teams now is like, you really got to lock in and bring your lunch pail, especially if you haven't built that team up yet. So it's a fight. All
Absolutely.
right,
They made it so bad quarterbacks are a lot worse. Like last year,
right.
you could play a low rated quarterback and he was only kind of worse than like a higher rated quarterback. Now, like a bad quarterback's a bad quarterback.
Yeah. Nah, no doubt. WQ says y'all calling fifth place a comeback. How mighty have we fallen? Nah, that's real. That's real. The mighty have fallen. Florida State, I mean, you saw them last year, bro. They were a joke of a program. Would they win? 3 games, 4 games?
Two.
2 games at Florida State.
After all the hype with DJU.
Right, is insane, bro. A year after they had a perfect regular season.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think they're gonna be that good this year. I think their quarterback from Boston College. I think he's all talk, and I think he's given
possibility.
teams like Alabama some poster board material. They're going to come out looking for his head.
Well, I'm positive of that. They've said as much, but we'll see what happens. Number 4 for you, Kinetic. Who you got?
So I'm going to go with Miami. They started really strong last year. I think they went like 9-0 before it fell off.
Right.
They start the season this year with Notre Dame, but after that, their schedule's pretty good. And I just think that, they had a really good transfer portal, and for the last 2 or 3 years, they've had really strong recruiting. I just feel like at some point, all that recruiting's got to pay off. Like you can't having those top classes every year. At some point, it's got to pay off. Last year, like I said, it started 9-0, and I just think this is the year that they take a step forward. I actually, when I first made my list, I had them at number 3, but I really wanted to show love to the team that I have at number 3. But I really, if I could, it would be 3A and 3B with this team and my next team.
Okay, so I might shock some people here. All right. But I'm going with the Duke Blue Devils here at number 4. I think they returned something like 11 starters. The quarterback, they bring over the quarterback from, is it the dude from Rutgers? I think they got the quarterback from Rutgers.
I honestly haven't looked at Duke that much.
But I like Duke here at number 4. I could be very wrong about this, and if I am, I will hold myself accountable. Give me Duke at number 4. Let's go back around. Kinetic, who you got for number 3?
So for number 3, and this is a little bit of a more feeling than logic pick, but last year I think it was the West Virginia game that Pitt had at home.
Okay.
Where they went into the fourth quarter down like 2 or 3 scores.
Yep.
And Eli Holstein just became Tom Brady, like peak Tom Brady in the fourth quarter. And I happened to catch that game, and I was just like, I was a believer in Eli Holstein after that. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna say that he continues to get better and elevates that team up. And I think they're gonna have a really good showing in the ACC. Like I said, I kind of have Pitt and Miami both kind of vying for that 3 spot here, but I became such a fan of Eli Holstein last year that I wanted to show them some love with number 3 here on my list.
No doubt. This is a decent pick, actually. This is not bad because Pitt, I believe, is returning like 14 starters. That quarterback, though young, is very good. We were talking about that a little bit in the Discord. People were talking about that. So I like the Pitt pick here. Maniac, who you got?
Yeah, man. Pitt always has a good team. They're always like right on the cusp. Like you said, not a bad pick, but I'm gonna go with a sleeper here. A team that their record might have not showed it, but they were very tough, and they won, a big game in the ACC last year, and that is the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech. I'm gonna go with the Yellow Jackets. I think their coach got them, bro. They going. I just like the attitude of that team. And again, the beauty about college football is that, bro, it's unpredictable. Every season, you're always gonna get 1 or 2 teams from each conference that's just gonna come out of nowhere. And I think Georgia Tech is gonna be up there this year. So I have them as my number 3 team in the ACC going into 2025.
I like both of these picks, honestly. I like the coach at Georgia Tech. I like the way they came out last year. Last year, I think they only beat the teams they weren't supposed to beat, or something like that. They were beating all the good
And
teams.
they took Georgia to, what was it, like 17
Right,
overtimes?
right. So I definitely understand that pick. The Pitt pick I like a lot. I didn't have either one of these teams in my top 5 though, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. Lichmack says Virginia Tech number 1. Enter the Sandman. No.
If we're talking pregame entrance, absolutely.
Absolutely.
If we're talking like that's such a stark contrast when we talk about like we need a better song than Mr. Brightside. Like they got Enter Sandman and we got Mr. Brightside. Like, come on. But when we're talking like final record at the end of the season, no, Virginia Tech's not it this year.
Yeah, you heard the new song Michigan is considering?
What?
Getting jiggy with it. La 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 la.
I knew it was gonna be something soft, bro.
I know. I'd almost want that more than Mr. Brightside.
No, Mr. Brightside over getting jiggy with it 100 out of 100 times. All right. So for me, number 3, I'm going with Miami here. I think Mario Cristobal has to do it. If I'm being honest, they have you can't recruit like he recruits to steal a Joe Klatz sentiment and not be good at some point. They've been recruiting very well. They've been still in Michigan defensive linemen. It seems like
Joe Klatt took that from me. He took that point from me.
It seems like every year they still a Michigan defensive lineman. They're trying to steal another one this year with Alistair Vallejo, but we will hold on to Alistair. That said, I think they will be challenging for the ACC championship. We'll see what happens, but they're my number 3 team, which I think in the chat, let us know. Maniac, number 2. Now here, be careful here because we are including Notre Dame. All right. Notre Dame is included in this ACC thing.
They're not included in my ACC.
So
they need to join a conference. They get left out.
Yeah, they cacaduro. We don't care about Notre Dame. So just like your number 3 pick, Maze, I'm going number 2, Miami. Mm-hmm. I think if there's a team heading into this season in all of college football that has a lot of pressure on them is the Hurricanes. Now, by it, they started off red hot last season. Cam Ward, they went into Gainesville early. They cooked Florida, beating the SEC team. You know how they make that out to be all the time. And he just, Cristobal, he's always been known for recruiting. I mean, he's won big games, right? He went into the shoe in 21. He beat Ohio State without 2 of his best players. Right? Or what's the dude's name in the Giants? The DN.
For the Giant, the NFL?
Kevin, what's his last name? Takapu Divindo. I can't pronounce.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Somebody help this man out.
The first round pick from the Giants in 21. Kevin.
I don't know who the Giants picked.
Number 5.
I haven't paid attention to the Giants.
He was
in years,
all right.
Who was Oregon?
Who was Oregon's one of their best defensive?
Oh yeah. In fact, he came out against Ohio State. I know who you're talking about.
You said Thibodeau.
Yeah, it is Thibodeau. Okay. Yep.
Look at that. Well, anyway, so that just tells you that he can win big games, right?
Right.
So now you add another veteran quarterback, someone like Carson Beck, who's played in the SEC. He's played against the elite of the elite. They got defense. They got offensive line. So look, man, if Miami in this conference can go 10-2 this season, then there's gonna be, if I'm a fan over there in Coral Gables,
yeah,
I'm gonna be very upset.
So let me ask you, Maniac. Do you think Carson Beck is gonna actually do you think he's gonna have a good year in the ACC, kind of like how Kyle McCord did when he went to Syracuse? Because I'm not high on Carson Beck. I think he's mid.
Yeah, so you're right. No, I'm not just like you, Kinetic. I'm not high on him, but his leadership right? And what people forget last season, Georgia's receivers, they were like in top in the country and dropped passes, bro. Like they dropped a lot of passes for him last season. So that shit matters, man. That matters a lot. So I think that Carson Beck's leadership, his experience, coming from a winning culture, coming from the best coach in America and Kirby Smart, he's gonna bring that with him to Miami. And I expect Miami to do very well this season.
No doubt. Who you got at number 2, Kinetic?
So I got Georgia Tech at number 2. I think that I was, for all the same reasons Maniac had them at 3. They just showed a lot last year. They played every team hard, even the losses that they had. Like we said, they had the ridiculous number of overtimes against Georgia, who was the number 1 team at the time. Haynes King showed out all last year. They got that running back, Jamal Haynes. It's just they're just a good team. They're just a good team. And I think that I think they returned something like 60-65% of their production this year.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're just going to continue to improve upon that. So I got Georgia Tech number 2.
No doubt. Right here, I'm going with Stanford.
Hey, listen, bro. But that's the crazy thing about they end up being the second best team in that. You be like, how?
Bro,
this is college football. I'm telling you.
My mind refuses to acknowledge that Cal and Stanford are in the ACC.
Right.
But look, before you pick me, right, Kinetic, if this time last season, I say, look, man, I got Vanderbilt beating Alabama this year. Y'all all would have said, yo, get Maniac off the show. Never let him talk football again. It's an unpredictable sport, man.
I got ripped apart for saying that I thought they were going to beat Virginia to open the season. Vanderbilt. That I said
Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech. That's what it was. Sorry. Because I remember saying on social media, I was like, I think Vanderbilt's going to pull this one out before the game, and everyone was ripping into me. They're like, it's Vandy. They're not going to beat anybody. They're trash. Let alone Alabama.
Yeah, Vandy shocked some people last year for sure. Because I followed the rules that were set out and included Notre Dame in the ACC talk. I'm going.
No, hold on. I read the rules. I understood the rules. I just thought it was a dumbass rule, so I chose to ignore it.
Yeah. Yeah. So hold on. All right.
That's your problem. Hold on. That's your problem. That's why you a Connor Stallion supporter. The rules are the rules, bro. But anyway,
you stay in the principal's office.
I got Notre Dame here at number 2. I think obviously their schedule is easy. They play Miami to start the season. That could really, flip who Maniac and myself have at number 2. That could all change right here. And I think their only other tough game is A&M, which they get at home. So I think they'll more than likely be right back in the college football playoff, either with a 10-2 or 11-1 record, something like that. So I got them number 2. Number 1, I'm pretty sure all of us have the same number 1.
Yeah, it's unanimous.
Right?
It is.
Clemson, the number 1 team in the ACC. They bring back so much production. Number 1, they're bringing back like 16
highest
starters.
in the country, highest returning production.
Bringing back 16 starters. They're bringing back Kay Klubnik, who's going to be a preseason Heisman favorite. Whether or not he wins it or not is another story. But
if you believe the damn video game, he wins it like 90% of the time.
That's a fact. Year one, he always wins that thing. It's crazy. I went crazy with Bryce in year 1, and this dude still won the Heisman. It's crazy. But anyway, they bring back a lot of talent. They actually went into the portal this past season. So I got Clemson at number 1. That's why I got them. Why do you think they're the number 1 team, Maniac?
Yeah, man. Just, for the reasons you just mentioned, right? One thing in college football is pivotal is an experienced quarterback, man. Mm-hmm. Hence why in 23, it was Michigan's year to win the Natty. Or the Alabama. Georgia, Ohio State, they were all returning a first-year starter. Michigan wasn't. JJ was his second season. So, bringing back Klubnik for Clemson is huge. And, of course, the second best coach in the country, Dabo Swinney. Kirby and Dabo. Listen, the guy's been there before. He's reached the summit many times. Dude went to like 4 natties in 5 years. Like, the dude is an amazing coach. Yeah, as of late, it's kind of been a slippery slope. But look, man, he still got it. And this is going to be one of his best teams he's had in a long time. And again, he's not playing in a super tough conference. This is not the Big Ten. This is not the SEC. So, Clemson, barring major injuries to major players, should pretty much breeze through the ACC, win the ACC championship, and compete for national championship. And we're going to see week 1, they play LSU, another team bringing back experience. So that's going to be a hell of a game. I think that's the second best game to me of week 1. Of course, Ohio State, Texas being 1, and then Clemson, LSU number 2 for me. So yes, Clemson is without a doubt not only the favorite to win the ACC, but many have them to win the Natty.
Yeah, no doubt. Kinetic, why'd you go with Clemson at number 1?
I mean, primarily for the reasons that have already been said. I mean, they have the highest returning production in the country. They've got one of the top head coaches in the country, and they've got an experienced quarterback, which is so valuable in college football.
Right.
So let me ask you guys 2 quick questions regarding Clemson. First, where do you rank Dabo in coaches? Is he top 3 in college football right as of right now? Is he top 5? Like, where do you guys
Definitely
have Dabo?
Top 3. Definitely top 3.
Yeah, top 3. So when you see, all right, as of late, just because, people are going to put Ryan Day number 2 because of he just won the Natty. And I understand in his record, and, I'm on record. To me, Day is not a great coach yet. He's a good coach. Number 3 for me, Ryan Day, I put him at number 3, no problem. I got Kirby, Dabo, and then Day. Those are the top 3 to me coaches in the league. And I mean in
college
football. Because you can't, what Dabo Swinney did, bro. It can't be ignored, bro. Like, This dude was kicking ass, bro. He was, Clemson. They should have, they borderline dynasty. You understand? So, bro, he's number 2, bro. They hasn't done what Dabo has done. And he's beaten some great Alabama teams. Not good, great.
Right.
So the other question I got here, if you want to pull that up real quick, Maze.
Yeah.
They got that week 1 game against LSU. If let's say they win this game, what other do you think they lose any other games on their schedule? So what they've got after LSU, they got Troy, Georgia Tech.
Schedule. Okay.
Yeah, so they got Troy, Georgia Tech, Syracuse, UNC, Boston College, SMU, Duke, Florida State, Louisville, Furman, and South Carolina.
Yo, that's
South Carolina's tough.
Is that at South Carolina or in Clemson?
It's at South Carolina.
Oh, that's gonna be tough. If South Carolina becomes the team most people are projecting them to be this season, then that's gonna be a tough one. I think.
But would you take them to beat Clemson though? Like I'm saying, like aside from LSU, would you take any of these teams to beat?
No, I don't think Clemson is underdog to any of these teams. Maybe LSU week 1, but I don't think they're underdogs to LSU. They're playing in Clemson. Is that Clemson?
No, that's a neutral.
It says it's at Clemson Memorial Stadium.
That's a Clemson.
It's at Clemson. Oh shit! Then now you got to go Clemson.
I think they'll be favored in that. Right, they're going to be favored in every game this year.
Except maybe, well, again, we could revisit this for the South Carolina game
Right.
again, because many have high hopes on South Carolina. Many
E.
feel like they could come out the East.
This
The
is an
SEC East.
excellent point here that I'm glad somebody pointed out. Clemson
Eric.
has adopted that SEC model, right, of playing a cupcake at the end of the season, right? Alabama's famous for playing like the Citadel in in that 11th game slot. In this case, Clemson is doing the same with Furman.
Okay.
I believe
Real
this
quick.
year even they have some of those softer teams. But go ahead.
Real quick, anybody in the chat who knew that the Furman football team was called the Paladins before I clicked on that, let us know.
No.
I'm gonna be real with that. Sounds like FCS.
That sounds like a team builder team. Someone put in the video game.
That's crazy.
I thought they name was the Teddy Bears, the Furman Teddy Bears.
Right. They might as well be, because that's a joke of a, you know what I mean? Like doing that at the end of the season is hilarious.
Okay. So then here's the question though. Week 1, LSU at Clemson. Who are you taking?
Week 1, I'm taking Clemson.
Yeah, especially at Clemson. Death Valley is one of the toughest places to play in all of college football. That place will be rocking week 1. And plus that veteran team, and Dabo's no stranger to big games. And I don't know what's his record against the SEC. I believe is a winning one, as of late. I mean, he's beat Auburn there. He's beaten Georgia. He's also lost to these schools. I don't think all of them, but you got to go Clemson. I mean, without a doubt.
Lichtenberg's only taking LSU because he chose LSU in the league that we're setting up. That's the only reason he's going with LSU right there.
Real quick, I think Florida State is a tough game just because it's a rivalry game, and I think Florida State's going to be better this year.
That one's at Clemson, though.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I wouldn't pick Florida State to win this game. I'm just saying that I think.
I would say their toughest game after LSU is either South Carolina or the one with Georgia Tech, because they're at Georgia Tech.
Yeah, and that one for sure, because it's early in the season, right?
Mm-hmm.
It could be good and bad for Clemson. Good that they catching them early, right? But I mean bad because early in the season, coming off a LSU win and then beating Troy. No, it's Troy and then LSU. Yeah, they could be coming off a high. But again, they do have Dabo, who's gonna make sure that they be ready. Plus, that's going to be their opener, right? The ACC opener.
Right.
Yeah. But listen, that at Louisville, bro, watch that game, bro. That's a dang. Louisville is another team in the ACC. If I got an honorable mention at number 5 is Louisville.
Yeah, and I'll say like Louisville's definitely one of my sleeper teams there, because I mean they got Miller Moss, they in the transfer portal, and they had what's the boy's name? Running back Isaac Brown. I think those two are going to be dynamic on offense. So, like if we were doing top 6, I'd probably have Louisville there.
Speaking of, so if you were doing the 6, both of you would have Louisville at 6.
I think I would.
Yeah.
All right. I would have to go with Georgia Tech at 6 because I failed to put them in my top 5. But Georgia Tech at 6 for me. Chat, what do y'all think? Do y'all agree with whose top 5 was best? I know it's mine. You can exclude me if you want. But whose top 5 was the
what
best?
number you have the Furman?
Hey,
I'm at the Tree Dog set the Furry.
Hey,
the Furry.
Maze, can we really quick run through what our top 5s were, and then can you put a poll up in the chat to see who people agree with, Maze, Maniac, or Kinetic on the top 5? Who do they agree with the most?
The poll, I gotta go. I gotta go to YouTube.
So while you're doing the poll, you just put our names on the poll. Let's run through what our top 5 was real quick. So my top five going from 5 down to 1 was SMU, Miami, Pitt, Georgia Tech, and Clemson. Maniac, tell the chat what yours was.
Yeah, mine's number 5 was the Seminoles. Number 4 was the Mustangs. Number 3 were the Yellow Jackets. Number 4 were the Hurricanes, and number 1 was the Tigers, Clemson Tigers.
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 And then and then Maze will get you guys his top 5 again once he gets into YouTube and gets the
Mays
poll.
had Western Michigan. He had
Stanford and Cal and Syracuse. He had Fran Brown number 1.
Yeah, and Notre Dame number 1.
Fran Brown gave him a last minute NIL deal to shout him out on the show.
Man, all right, so the poll is officially up.
Let us know which top 5 y'all are rocking with the most.
Hold on. Before run down your top 5s again. You had
Kinetic.
All right, so mine, number 5, I had SMU Mustangs. Number 4, I had Miami Hurricanes, although they're kind of like 3B for me. Right. Number 3, I got Pitt Panthers. Number 2, I had Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. And number 1, Clemson Tigers.
All right, and then Maniac.
So, yeah, again, number 5, I had the Seminoles, the Florida State Seminoles. Number 4, I had the SMU Mustangs. Number 3, I had the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Number 2, the Hurricanes of Miami. And we all had the same team at number 1, which were the Clemson Tigers.
And for me, the best of all of these, I had Florida State at number 5. I have Duke at number 4. I had Miami at number 3, Notre Dame at number 2, and Clemson at number 1. By the way, Notre Dame should win me this whole thing, but I'm gonna leave it in y'all's hands. You let me know what you think was the best one.
Notre Dame does not get to call themselves an ACC team when they still call themselves independent.
Yeah, and
Notre
it's
Dame
weird because
gets to do what they want. You haven't heard
football.
You haven't heard Notre Dame gets to do what they want.
No, they can't be a half in, half out and get credit for being in the conference.
Yeah, I know no one gives a shit about the ACC. That's a fact, man. Listen, we try and do something different. It's the preseason. We got to get people ready for college football, man. Don't give us a hard time, G. Chill out.
Yeah. Yeah, man. We just here talking. We don't care. Also, the next Monday we'll be doing the SEC. So I think people is gonna want to know that. And of course, after that, the Big Ten. But the Big Ten, like Mays mentioned, we're doing every single team. Right. Or the 16 teams in the Big Ten now. Yeah.
It's like 18. Like is it 18?
I don't count, bro.
It's 37 teams in the Big Ten. I don't know. But you know who will be at the bottom? Poor little bro them.
Yeah. So I got just to give you.
They won't be last.
Just to give you a preview, Ohio State finishing last. Just for the record.
Yeah, I get it, bro. By the way, Garrison agreed with me with Duke. In fact, he thought Duke should be higher on the list. So I'm sure.
I mean, I'm not mad about it. I just didn't pay that much attention to Duke, to be honest.
You get the Garrison vote, you win. Basically, is what they're saying. It's all jokes. All jokes. Anyway, gentlemen, let's move on, man. Practice, fall camp underway. Getting
Practice.
Practice? Right.
Practice.
Let that man live, man.
Yeah.
But okay, so hearing great things out of practice. Coach Chip Lindsey, offensive coordinator, new offensive coordinator for the Wolverines, keeping this quarterback, competition talk alive. Do we believe it?
I mean, to an extent, yes. I think there is a competition, but the competition is Bryce didn't want to be given the job. Yeah. Like when he was recruited, I remember Sharon saying in an interview somewhere that one of the things that Bryce kept asking him is, who are you bringing in to push me? Who are you bringing in to compete with me? Right. He didn't want to be given the job. And I'm sure that when he recruited Mikey Keene to come in and when he in his conversations with Jaden, he promised him an honest shot at a competition.
Right.
I do think that it's like Bryce's job to lose, but don't count out the experience. Like Mikey Keene has so much experience in college football. Like you don't know what we're seeing and or what they're seeing in camp, and they're gonna, the stuff that they're putting out, it might be a smokescreen to throw off what Oklahoma's preparing for right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's going to be Bryce at this point because of Mikey Keene's spring camp injury. But remember, Mikey Keene didn't necessarily need spring camp.
Mm-hmm.
He's got more snaps than probably, I think, than most
Everybody
other QBs.
Right.
Everybody.
Well, not just at Michigan, but in college football. He's one of the most experienced as far as taking snaps in a game in college football. And he's been in Chip Lindsey's system before. So
Correct.
he doesn't necessarily need to go through spring camp to have a shot at the job. So I do think they're being honest about it, but I think that everyone knows it's kind of Bryce's job to lose.
Correct.
Yeah, go ahead, Maniac.
Yeah, that's just, pretty much that's what it is, right? At the end of the day, you don't want to say, hey, it's your job, that's it. You got to say, nah, bro, you got to earn this. And plus, again, having someone like Mikey Keene on the roster is huge, right? We know Bryce's upside bet is higher than not only all the quarterbacks on the roster, most quarterbacks in America, period, as a true freshman. So we just want him focused. We want to make sure he understands that, look, it ain't going to be easy, bro. You're going to have to work for this. But just to know, I think we all know that week 1 against New Mexico, it'd be Bryce Underwood as the starter. But it's great to know that we have a security blanket and someone like Mikey Keene that has all those experience that, God forbid, if something happens to Bryce, we like, okay, it ain't Davis Warren coming in. It's Mikey Keene. So, we'll see how that plays out. But, as long as, Bryce is getting better day by day, that's all matters to me.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I don't know if it's a real quarterback competition in the sense that somebody can take it from Bryce. Let me say that. I believe that, G Boulder said it's like a competition to not let Bryce get complacent.
Right.
One of you, I think, mentioned, a competition. Bryce asked for, competition, basically, who they bringing in to push me. And, which is also an indictment on the room that they had.
Hey, don't disrespect the Buckeye Killer. Come on now.
An indictment on the room that they had, and that includes Jaden Davis, which, everybody, I'm one of the guys that was pounding the table for Jaden Davis in recruitment. Obviously, we got him, but he does seem to be like one of those guys who, peaked early, and unfortunately, didn't get take the next step.
Let's keep it there, Maze, and Kinetic. Jaden Davis, right? Obviously, coming in his recruitment, he was I believe he was a 5-star, a fringe 5-star. But when it was all said and done, the 4-star, a quarterback that when he signed to Michigan, we was static. He's like, this is the kind of guy we need. At the end of the day, I think he never takes a snap at Michigan. What do you guys think regarding Jaden Davis?
I said last year, all right, when we were going through the quarterback struggles that we were going through, that this was Jaden's opportunity, right? Because before Bryce ever committed to Michigan, I was still heavy on, Michigan has to get Bryce, right? Which means Jaden Davis has to play now, because the situation would be a lot different if Jaden Davis was the incumbent quarterback coming off of a decent season last year, right? If Jaden Davis steps in, versus Arkansas State or somebody and plays good football and then is the starter for the rest of that season, if Jaden Davis beats Washington, if Jaden Davis beats Indiana, right? Illinois, even though that game kind of whatever. But if Jaden Davis beats those two teams and looks good early in the season, we still get those same wins we got at the end, then the conversation's different, right? Because now he's the incumbent quarterback. who has the starts. You know what I mean? A true freshman can't just necessarily come in and say, "Hey, this is my job," from a guy that's already been here, who was a previous 5-star, whatever. But because that didn't happen, I'm with you now. It doesn't look like he's ever going to take a snap for Michigan at a time when Alex Orji clearly wasn't the answer. Davis Warren clearly wasn't the answer. He could have gotten some snaps. Right, we talked about this. Remember, we had the big blow up after the bowl game where Kinetic, I think, was defending the fact that he didn't get snaps, right? And I was like, "Yo, nah, he needed to play, just so we could see it, right? If nothing else." But at no point last year did he get in the game. At no point was it even a threat that he was going to play, and I think that hurts him in the end. And this guy is now just somebody who probably transfers at the end of the season, but we'll see. Now, he said all the right things. Let me be fair to him. I don't want to cast any aspersions. He's talked about wanting to compete, being a Michigan man and all of that. So, hopefully, he stays and gets an education or whatever, but in terms of him playing and meaningful downs for Michigan, I think that ship is sailed.
So I'm not as out on him as you guys are. But I think there's a plan here. So I don't think he's ever going to beat out Bryce for minutes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what a lot of people are missing here is that getting a Michigan degree is actually very important to Jaden Davis and his family.
Right.
And if he comes in, and last year was his redshirt year, right?
Right.
So Bryce is here. This is his first year. Bryce is here for 2 more years after this. Jaden Davis's redshirt senior year would be the year after Bryce leaves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, is he starting caliber now? No. But to quote Isaiah Hole, players are allowed to get better, okay? And to think that he's not going to get better between now and his redshirt senior year is just, it's stupid in my opinion. He has every opportunity to get better between now and then. And why would he stay here until his redshirt senior year? Well, the year that Bryce would leave would be the year that Jaden Davis would graduate before the spring portal. Okay. So if you're Jaden Davis, you can come in, you can get a Michigan degree. The year that you get your degree, you can then see when Bryce leaves, you can see what the quarterback room looks like. You can see what happens in spring camp if you want to. And then you can then decide if you want to stay, if you have a chance to start the next year, or if you want to transfer to another smaller school to get a chance to put your skills on display for scouts or whatever. And that wouldn't happen if he had played last year. And I may be wrong on this. So if I am, I'm sorry. But I think that the rule just changed. That I know they changed the rule before last year that you could play in up to 4 games and still get your red shirt. But I don't think that counted for bowl games. I think that just got changed like this offseason. So if he had played in the bowl game in December, he would have burned his red shirt, because I know the year before that, Oklahoma had to burn Jackson Arnold's red shirt to let him play in the bowl game. And so if that was the case this past year, I didn't want them to burn his red shirt, because then that whole thing doesn't work out. Now, again, I don't think he's better than Bryce. I don't think he's ever going to beat Bryce out. But that redshirt senior year would be Brady Smiegel's redshirt freshman year. So we don't know what that room's going to look like with other transfers or recruits at that point.
Go ahead, Maniac.
I think it's a lot of wishful thinking there. That's a lot of what ifs. At the end of the day, he was a highly touted recruit. Wasn't like he was just a 3-star. It was like, yeah, I hang around. And you got to remember, we are in the day and age where teams are going to need a quarterback. And this is the NIL era. So, some school might offer him a decent bag. Although he has never started a game, someone will still offer him a decent bag.
If he had 3 years in Michigan's development system, I'm sure a team would offer him.
Yeah, but the thing is, too, again, you also have a real talent there. You just mentioned him, quarterback coming in next season, and Brady Smiegel. So what happens now is Smiegel passes him on the depth chart.
Well, I mean, at that point, I think that's where he transfers.
A Michigan degree goes a long way. We know that. That's a fact. But how important is that to him? I don't know. If he wants to hang around, that's cool. I'm not saying anything. It's cool. We're just talking about as far as him getting on that playing field.
Okay.
So I don't think it's gonna happen.
So I'm with Maniac here. I do, that path kinetic is something that is possible. Whether or not it's likely is a different thing, because I think what a Maniac brought up is an excellent point, and that's where I was going. Brady Smeagol is committed to Michigan. Right, next year is his freshman year. I assume he's going to take that as a redshirt year, because that would be the smart thing to do, which means that he gets Bryce's sophomore season as his redshirt freshman year, then Bryce's junior season as his sophomore, or his redshirt. He'll be a redshirt, right? Freshman or whatever. He'll be considered a redshirt freshman then, right? But the next year, he, with 2 years of experience behind Bryce, we're assuming, would then be a redshirt sophomore, right? Who already, the floor is already higher than Jaden Davis right now, in my opinion. That said, hold on, because Michigan is on the short list of schools for the number 1 player in the 27 class.
Yep.
Right? And he's visited Michigan multiple times now on his own dime from Louisiana. All right. Which then puts you in an even stickier situation, because if, let's say, he commits to Michigan, so now he takes the red shirt Bryce's junior year, and you got Brady Smeagol, who's the Smigel. Let me quit saying Smeagol. We got someone actually told us who it was, what his last name is.
I was waiting for you to correct yourself.
Brady Smigel is, that the following year, the redshirt sophomore, he is the redshirt freshman behind that. Both floors are above where Jaden Davis is currently, in my humble opinion. It's a bad situation, bro. So I get what you're saying. And by the way, hold on, before you go, by the way, I'm assuming that Michigan is able to land that quarterback in 27. Although even if they don't, I'm sure they land some quarterback in 27. And it then becomes a numbers kind of thing. And I think by that time, here's a real question to you and the chat. Do you wait around, and even if you beat out these guys that I'm talking about, these young guys, for 1 year to play? Go ahead, Kinetic.
So I don't disagree with any of the points you guys are making, but I don't think it's a bad situation, because if I'm in Jaden Davis's spot, okay, he's not going to go somewhere right now and be a high-end quarterback anywhere. So he's not going to if his intention.
I don't know if that's true.
No, hold on. If his intention is to try to go to the league, which I assume it is, right? Your path is not to be a 3-year starter at a Power 4 college and go to the league. Your path, like a lot of people who have made it to the league, is to get 1 or 2 years, your redshirt senior year, get some good tape, and get some draft stock. And yes, I think Brady's floor is higher than Jaden Davis right now. Yes, I think that if we were to get Haven, that he would be most likely the better option based on what we know right now. And if I had to put money on it right now, I would not put money saying that Jaden Davis was going to win the job post Bryce. But what I am saying is that none of us can sit here and say what that room's going to look like 3 years from now, between transfers, between development. And like I said, Jaden Davis is allowed to get better. So from Jaden Davis's standpoint, he stays in Michigan's developmental system, in camp with guys like Bryce and with Chip Lindsey, going against Wink's defense and developing for 3 years, gets a Michigan degree, and then can choose to transfer for his final year or final 2 years. I don't think that's a bad situation for him.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's a bad situation.
And I mean, of course, a team at any point could come next year if Bill Belichick comes with a huge bag next year that's money he can't turn down. Obviously, that could change, but I just don't see it as a bad situation.
Of course. Maniac, go ahead. What you got to add? You're muted.
Maniac, you're muted. You're muted.
All right. at the end of the day, it's just us, our opinion regarding Jaden Davis, right? We don't really know, right? What the future is. I think someone in the chat, Ohio State fan, mentioned something. I mean, it's a good point. They never say someone is never going to take a snap. Injuries do happen. It's
Right.
true,
That's a
right?
great point. Right.
Those are things that's reality, right? But we just speaking as if it's not going to happen, right? At worst, if Bryce gets hurt, the next one in line to be Mikey King. But we'll see, man. There's a couple of weeks left in fall camp. Jaden Davis could turn some heads, hopefully, and do it. I mean, I like the kid, but we never know. We just never know.
Real quick, final point for me on this is this. Kinetic mentioned he's allowed to get better. That's an absolute fact. But I think one of the issues is that he hasn't. Let me not say he hasn't gotten better, because we saw that form when he got on campus. It's better than that right now, but it's not necessarily good enough, right? It's still elongated, whatever. That said, whatever. What I am saying though is early his junior year, he was the number 1 quarterback in his class, right? And it seems like from that point, and I hate to do this, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to say that. But from that point, it doesn't seem like much development has taken place, whether it was in the rest of his high school career, or since he's gotten to Michigan to be.
Wait. You mean you're shocked that he hasn't developed much in a year under Kirk Campbell?
Well, if I could finish my point, Kirk Campbell, we're gonna give. Sure, he can get some points for being under Kirk Campbell, because that's obviously wasn't a great situation. But Kirk Campbell is not the only person that was on that offense. The head coach was there and could have stepped in and done something differently. I don't know, but I'm not gonna deep dive into that. What I am saying though is from that point, from that junior point when he was the number 1 quarterback in his class to now, it doesn't look like much has gone his way in terms of positivity, in terms of him progressing. That said, I believe what Kinetic said. He still can get better. He can be better. Somebody brought up like Iowa or a team like that. I think that's a viable option too, right? If he goes to a team like Iowa, he plays for 3 seasons, he can get better there too, if he's going to get better.
Yeah, I mean, if they offer him a bag to go, yeah, but I
don't even think you need a bag. Listen, dog. We interviewed Chris Howard. One of the things that he brought up is kids want to play, bro. I want to play. It's not about a bag. It's about if Iowa affords me an opportunity to get on the field and play Division I football in a Power 4 conference against the team that I left.
Yeah, but if you can get a Michigan degree and then go do that, why not?
Well, it's on him.
It is a personal choice. Whatever he thinks is more important. Is it the Michigan degree or is it him playing football? I don't know. We don't know. We can only procrastinate.
Did you guys get to catch Winks?
I said procrastinate. Which isn't the word I was looking for. Y'all know it.
Speaking on the defense.
Yeah, let's move on to Wink speaking on the defense, because we'll be here forever talking about my guy. Which, by the way, I like Jaden Davis too. I want that to be known that I'm a Jaden Davis fan. All right, we speaking on defense. Go ahead, Maniac. Would you like from it? Would you take away from it?
Nah, man. I just again the mindset. Wink is an OG, man. Not only an OG because of age, but the OG of the system. He doesn't give too much. He's transparent. He's not gonna come here and overhype and say we're gonna be the greatest. He calls it like it is. But one player I definitely wanted to spotlight here is Cameron Brent, right? He's a DN. I think him and Dominic Nichols coming off the bench, because we already know TJ Guy, Derek Moore are going to be starters, are going to be a force, man, coming off the edge. And Cameron Brent is a monster, man. other schools like to talk about their players. Oh, he's 6'4", that too. Pop, pop, bing, rang, rang, ring. Listen, Cameron Brent he's an animal.
Right.
And I'm gonna say this, man. It's not because I'm a Michigan fan. That Michigan D-line is gonna be so disgusting, bro, that you're gonna see it on display week 1. But you know what's gonna happen, right, fellas? It's New Mexico. Of course, who can't look good? Okay. And then week 2, regardless, win or lose, the defense is gonna sack Mattia 3 minimum. I'm putting it here 3 times.
Okay.
Guaranteed. Mattia gets sacked 3 times in the Oklahoma game. Win or lose, Michigan.
You heard it here first.
Man. You heard it here first.
No doubt. By the way, prognosticate is the word that I meant to use there, not procrastinate. That's a totally different meaning. Connecticut.
No, I mean, the things that I've been hearing from Wink, you guys know, I've said it multiple times. I'm a huge Wink Martindale fan. Mm-hmm. I was way before Mike McDonald brought his system to Michigan.
Yeah.
I think it's nothing but going up for us. And I was trying to find the link where I sent it to y'all. I can't remember what show it was, or who it was that gave the insight to it. But one of the Michigan shows in the last couple of weeks, there was an interview that was done with somebody from the defense where they kind of gave some insight into last year and why there was the early season struggles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it was like, and I'm paraphrasing and I'm probably doing a poor job of it from memory, but basically they were saying, they had how they had done it under Jesse and they had won a national championship under Jesse, and it was the same system, but slightly different calls, slightly different tendencies, stuff like that. And a lot of the players were resistant to Wink's way of doing it because in their heads, they were saying, well, we had success with this. And Wink was, well, I've had success with this. And there was this contention between the players and the coaching staff. There was a little push and pull where he would call something on the field and they would say, well, why would I do it like that? You know what I'm saying? And that they both kind of came together halfway through the season. It was on both sides, the coaches and the players. And when you look at that and you see that, and it's like they used that end of last season as like the platform to launch going into this year. And everything we're hearing is how the players are taking the scheme more seriously, that they're bulking up, they're losing weight or gaining weight or whatever it is that they need to fit the scheme better.
Yep. They
understand it better. It's just everything is clicking into place. And I think this is going to be a great year for Michigan's defense.
I think we all think that it's going to be a great year 2 under Wink. And I saw the same thing that you're talking about, where they were talking about, early on how there was just a disconnect between the players and the way that they had run it before Wink got there, and then his style coming from the NFL and how he wanted it run. And it took like a meeting coming together of
because I sent the link in the group chat that we've got. Yeah. And I thought it was really interesting, that insight to it.
Yeah. And so like that was all, that was great. It was great to see. And obviously we saw it come to fruition on the field late last year. They really turned the corner. My question is, why was it, so different for Wink and not for Jesse, right? Because Mike McDonald comes with it, then Jesse follows up Mike McDonald, and it doesn't seem like there's any snag in the system or the kids getting it. And now Wink gets there, and we got this like kind of turmoil, if you will.
So if you remember from last year when I first joined the show, what I was assuming, or not assuming, but I was taking a guess at what we were seeing. Was that Wink had spent 20 years in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Worst players he was coaching were the best players on their college teams. And he was coaching the majority of them after they had been in the league for 6-7 years, right?
Yeah.
So there were things that he could trust them to do and have the instincts for, that he was used to being able to trust those players with. Right. When Jesse and Mike came in, you got to remember, they weren't the defensive coordinator. They were on the staff for the Ravens for a couple years, and they were position coaches, right? And I don't know what they did before they were at the Ravens, but it was less of a transition because they weren't, 20 years entrenched into the NFL. Wink also shed some light on that in an interview he did during the ReliaQuest Bowl practices, where he was saying that he came in trying to do all the things that he had been doing for 20 years in the NFL because he was used to the high-level quarterback play, and he was having to be complex to confuse the quarterbacks. And he was doing it. He was overdoing it. He was trying to be too complex. And he said himself, he realized halfway through the season, he doesn't have to be that complex in college because it was not only confusing quarterbacks, but it was confusing his own players.
Yeah.
So that was a moment of realization for him. And he actually said that himself. He was honest about it at the ReliaQuest Bowl practices.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah. No. I spot on, man. And I think also, maybe sometimes youth, right? Mike McDonald, Jesse Mensah, they were young guys. Probably relate a little bit more on the surface level. Wink, he's probably more to like, yo, listen, I don't got time for these games that y'all kids be playing and shit. Like, I'm here, you know what I'm saying? Like that strict uncle. The cool uncle, but the strict one.
Right.
We can't play with him. Uncle Wink, bro, he gonna be on in his bag. So, I mean, again, that's just my opinion, but I'm glad that everyone is on board now. They understand that this is a very important season for Michigan because, I think as long as we make the playoffs, I think we're good. I think that's obviously I want to win the Natty. Like, who doesn't?
Right.
But, you got to be a realist here. I don't think we're that good, but you never know, man. Football's unpredictable, and I don't think there's going to be no powerhouse team this year. There's going to be really good teams, but beatable, not teams that we've seen in the past.
What you mean? You don't think Penn State is going to obliterate everybody?
Hey, I got a question.
Yo, listen. Let me see the interview with Drew Aller again. I gotta see something real quick.
Hey, this was interesting to me. I know you heard it too, Mace, because you mentioned earlier that you watched the Joe Klatt thing.
Yeah.
He said in there that he believes that either Penn State or Oregon will lose to Iowa this year.
Yeah.
If that were to happen, which one do you think is more likely?
Oregon.
You think it's more likely Oregon takes a loss at Iowa than Penn State at Iowa?
They lost a lot.
Yeah.
What they returning? 3 starters?
Yeah.
I think a couple more than that, but yeah.
Not much.
Oregon.
And a first-year starter. I told you, experience matters. So you're going into Iowa. We know Kinnick Stadium is not an easy place to play. And I'm going to assume one of those two are going to be a night game. I think Oregon or Penn State is going to be a night game. If that Oregon is a night game, it could get real dark and gloomy for them.
Get real Shabba Ranks in there.
Real Shabba Ranks. And this is college football, guys. Every year, there's going to be a game on the schedule that we think is a slam dunk for a team. Oh, they're going to beat them. And they might be in a dogfight, might win by a field goal, might lose by a field goal. It's college football, the beauty about the sport. That's why I love it so much. And so a lot of it is predictable, and a lot of it is unpredictable. So those are things that can happen.
Right.
Like, and this is why, like, I get, like, the OSU fans, they bro, they literally could have lost 4 games last season. The Penn State and Nebraska blew those games. Honestly, they really did. They had them on the ropes. They blew them. That would have gave them 4 losses. That's their greatest team ever. They could say whatever the fuck they want. Excuse my language. But that was. So just to think, we're just going to run through our schedule. Okay. It might not even be the Washington, or it might not even be the Penn State. Or it might be the Wisconsin that gets Ohio State and be like, what? Wisconsin? Yeah, I could kind of see it because it's on the road, but I didn't. And this is college football, bro. And the same thing with Michigan. Mays, earlier we spoke about it. We went 8-5. But it could have got uglier. The USC game, woof. The Minnesota game, woof. Those two games could have gone either way. So, again, the goal is to win those close games. But a lot of these big teams might lose these games that they're going to be big favorites in. So, listen, Oregon or Penn State could 100% lose at Iowa. And I think one of them will.
No
Well,
doubt.
and of the two, I do agree with you. I think that it's more likely to be Oregon. But the one thing that gives me pause on choosing Oregon there is that I'd take Dan Lanning over James Franklin as a coach any day. And I feel like if one of those coaches was going to lose to Iowa, it would be James Franklin. But I think the point that you made with returning production, returning starters matters.
And listen, let's also take this into account. I know a lot of people, Dan Lanning. But remember, he had Bo Nix for 2 years, a veteran, a ringer. He's a ringer. And then after that, he had Dylan Gabriel, another ringer. He got Dante Moore. This is going to be the first season he got an inexperienced quarterback with not that much experience. Let's see how good of a coach he is this season. With all that productivity that he lost. Buy it. His roster's talented. Oregon don't lack talent. But if he's such a good coach, like people saying, let me see, he has to prove it this year.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, look, I get what you're saying about James Franklin, but I think that really only applies to really good teams when he doesn't, step up to the plate. Like, he doesn't go out and lose the teams he should beat. And Dan Lanning, another point to Dan Lanning, he lost twice in the same season to Washington a couple years ago. Now, granted, they had a
that
offense.
Washington team was different.
No, they were okay. That defense wasn't great. They had a good offense. They had a really good offense. Let me stop.
Their D line wasn't bad. I don't know about their corners, but their D line.
Mace, put up G's Louise comment. That last comment.
Oh, Kirk just took the time out to watch the
Hey, but listen, Iowa's offense is going to be different this year because they got that new offensive coordinator and they got that quarterback Gronowski or whatever.
How many? Hold on. How many times has Iowa gotten a new offensive coordinator and quarterback?
Listen, Kinetic. Iowa's going to go from scoring 13 points a game to 13 and a half. What do you do?
It's something about the uniform that saps all the offense out of you.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to any
defensively.
I want to put out a call to any of the Buckeyes that we have in the chat. Somebody call your boy Donovan Jackson and help him with something, because I'm sitting here looking at video from my Vikings training camp, and he is getting manhandled by Javon Hargrave in practice.
Listen, Kinetic, you when it comes to OSU players, is excuses.
Yeah, but he's got to protect JJ this year, bro. He's our starting left guard.
Yeah, we'll see. Even the jury's out on JJ. Again, I'll be rooting for him, but we got to see it, man. I don't care if people are saying he's looking bad. I don't care if people say he's looking good. I got to see it on the field, and we will see it this season. And then everyone could really assess that and see, because JJ got weapons. It's not like, well, he's throwing to Mickey Mouse Harry. That's not the case. He's throwing to arguably the number one receiver in the league.
Right.
And arguably a top 3 number 2 receiver.
Correct. So I'm just
saying, listen, it is Javon Hargrave, so okay, maybe give him a little bit of a pass, but geez, it's ugly. I'm saying.
What's good, Steven? Yeah, man. So we'll see what happens. I do think it is. I do think the Iowa uniforms, sucks all offensive potential out of those who wear it. Shout out to Iowa.
But man, just imagine Iowa with a top 20 offense, bro. They have a top 30 offense. They'll be in the playoffs now with the expanded playoffs. Yeah. They'll be in there every year. They could recruit that tight end They could recruit at defensive line. They
Offensive
could
line?
recruit at O-line.
Mm-hmm.
But quarterback and receivers, cacadoodle.
Trash.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think James Franklin this year, if James Franklin doesn't, get back to the Big Ten championship, doesn't get back to the college football playoff, do they talk about firing this guy? I'm not saying, because listen, he's a good coach. I just don't know if he's the coach that can get you over the hump if he can't do it this year. This year, he's got all of the incentive, all of the talent necessary to get it done, right? He went out in the transfer portal. He got wide receivers because his wide receivers weren't good last year. They said that's what was holding them back. He's got, in terms of incumbent running back rooms, probably the best one in the country, right? A 5-star quarterback in Drew Aller, who is coming back. Was he a senior? This is senior year? Yeah. For his senior season, he has to get it done. Defensively, they're always good. They're going to be good again this year. Has to get it done. Or I don't know what is
his buyout?
For him.
Do we know what's his buyout, Franklin?
I have no clue what his buyout is.
Yeah, me neither. But that plays a factor.
What's his run out? Because he might be ran out of town if he can't get it done, man.
Yeah. We'll see, man. Look, like you said, I think everyone knows they the favorites to win the Big Ten. They made it to the Big Ten championship last season, played Oregon tough. They went, step for step with them. And this is their year. There's no excuse. And if there's a year, they get Oregon at home. They don't play Michigan this year. They do got to travel to Columbus. But if this is the year to get Ohio State, this is the year. But of course, not until we see it, we're not going to believe it.
He said they saved all their offense for that game.
Yo, I remember they put up like 50-something that game.
Yeah, that's crazy. His buyout, man. $56 million.
Nah, he's not getting fired. He's staying put. He's staying put. He ain't going anywhere. They not gonna pay that. Unless, especially if he makes another deep run in the playoffs, gets to the Natty and loses the Natty, he's definitely not going nowhere. But if he have like an 8-4 season, shit, they're gonna be calling all the boosters. Yo, listen, I need your help here. We gotta get this motherfucker out of here. Yo, look, hot take. Brian Hartline has a good season, and Franklin gets fired. They buy him out. Hartline goes to Penn State with Jim Knowles.
Yo, Brian, hotter take. Brian Hartline has an awful season. They average 17.5 points a game. He
Sounds
gets
about
fired, right. Which they would never do. He gets fired. He goes on to take a job for the Sesame Street Bears, and we never hear from him again. That would be ideal. Anyway, gentlemen, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody who came and participated in the chat. Pause. Kinetic, tell the people where they can find you.
As always, everywhere at Kinetic615 on all social media. And also over on the Gamer Sideline on YouTube with Lichamax, talking sports and video games.
No doubt. Maniac, tell the people where they can find you.
Right there, as you can see, GoBlue_Maniac_24 on Instagram. That'll lead you to all my other social media outlets.
Right.
And here, Todo Lunes. That's every Monday.
Yes,
man,
sir.
I got to ask you a question that's been asked in the chat a couple times. How the hell did it get so dark so fast?
Yeah, man, this is
the Bronx.
Welcome to New York City. They get dark and gloomy.
In the Bronx, they just hit a light and that joint go crazy.
Yeah, this is going to be Penn State season right here. They gonna get dark fast.
Like I feel like they used your spot right there for like the dynamic lighting in the new video game where it gets dark in the middle of the game.
Yeah.
Hey yo. Yo, it's not a bedtime, bro.
Now he just wants to get some Call of Duty in before bedtime. That's what it is.
Pixel, dude, no doubt. All right, so look, follow me everywhere at Maze Madman. Until next time, you know the slogan: stay angry, my friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, this might be our best season ever. My ratings, they're about to go through the roof.
All right, now I'ma calm down. So I just don't get that all that maze and that lock and all that. I just don't get it. So and how the
Oh my God, we're shutting the damn live down. Good night, everybody.